Al-Halaqi says that the government is trying to provide citizens with the basic needs in spite of terrorism. And the Iraqi Prime Minister warns against Turkey's intervention in Iraq's internal affairs. Iranian Navy maneuvers continue for the fourth day running. Good afternoon, this is News in English from the Syrian television in Damascus. Prime Minister Dr. Wael Halaqi addressed the 17th session of the People's Assembly, asserting that the unjust economic sanctions against Syria hindered export and import operations and adversely affected the life of the Syrian people. He asserted that the government continued its efforts to supply the basic needs of the people and to carry out the development plans. He pointed out that the terrorist attacks on productive institutions caused great harm to the national economy as well as people's daily life. The terrorist actions caused a crisis in the availability of gas and fuel. Some national oil stations resumed their work a few days ago, thus alleviating the effects of this crisis. Soon there will be enough fuel in the markets. Dr. Al-Halaqi affirmed the government's commitment to its duties to find solutions in spite of the sanctions imposed in Syria. He stressed that the priorities of the government included the restoration of security and stability, in addition to reforming the damage sustained by the infrastructure at the hands of the terrorists. He expressed appreciation of the great role of our armed forces and security forces in restoring safety throughout the country, which is moving ahead towards a historic victory. He pointed out that the government continued its work to solve the crisis politically and through dialogue among the Syrians themselves. The Ministry of Religious Endowments considered the targeting of religious clerks and endowment officials by the terrorist gangs showed that Syria was subjected to war at the hands of extremist radicals, including Al-Qaeda terrorist organization, against Syria's moderate Islamic thinking. The ministry affirmed in its statement that the martyrdom of Sheikh Abdullah Saleh, Director of Religious Endowments in Al-Raqqa, would never prevent our great people from continuing their way to achieve victory against the forces of evil, darkness and terrorism. The late Abdullah Saleh was killed outside his house near Al-Noor Hospital in Al-Raqqa city. Units of the Syrian Armed Forces today confiscated considerable amounts of arms and ammunition inside a terrorist hideout in Deir Balbe in Homs city. They also confiscated advanced modern communication equipment and a field hospital in another hideout in Hesye in the countryside of Homs. They also captured a number of terrorists, including leader of the terrorist group calling itself the Freemen of Hesye. In Aleppo and its countryside, our armed forces continue its operations to clear the area of armed terrorist groups which wreaked havoc. A unit of our Syrian Arab Army cleared the village of Ash-Shurfe and Al-Ramusi orchards of terrorists, destroying a vehicle equipped with Dushka machine gun, killing a number of terrorists in front of the oil plant, and defusing more than 25 explosive devices of different weights. Another unit of our armed forces fended off attacks of some terrorist groups on Al-Kindi Hospital and Al-Bakkara Crossing Road, killing many terrorists and injuring others. The Syrian Arab Army also destroyed 6 of the terrorist vehicles equipped with Dushka machine guns, as well as 2 passenger buses loaded with arms and ammunition. In Idlib, a unit of our valiant Syrian Arab Army carried out a successful operation in the town of Jdeide, Jisr countryside, killing a number of terrorists and destroying their hideouts. A source in the governorate said that our armed forces killed a number of terrorists and wounded many others. They also destroyed a pickup equipped with a heavy machine gun and killed a sniper who was killing residents in the area. The source added that another unit of our Syrian Arab Army targeted the gatherings of terrorists in Ma'adat Nisrin in the area between the towns of Binnish and Taum, killing many of them. The army also destroyed 4 vehicles equipped with machine guns in that area. Within the framework of targeting the infrastructure in order to put pressure on the citizens and sabotage the basic services that affect their livelihood, An armed terrorist group attacked by an explosive device yesterday the gas pipeline of Al Jibsi between Al Jibsi gas plant and Homs at the area of Jofel, 30 kilometers north of Deir ez-Zor city. About 1.5 million cubic meters of gas leaked at the site of the blast as a result of the attack, and Al Jibsi gas plant went to a halt. An official source at the Ministry of Oil said that Al Jibsi gas plant was providing gas to the fertilizer plant and the electric power stations, pointing out that maintenance workshops were trying to repair the gas line in order to put it back in order in the next few days. A new series of terrorist explosions targeted various areas in Iraq and led to the death of at least 12 people and the wounding of 46 others, 7 of them from one family, killed in an explosion near their house in the town of Al-Musayyab, south of Baghdad. In the governorate of Babel, 2 people were killed and 17 were wounded in a terrorist explosion of a booby-trapped car in the building of the governorate itself. 2 other explosions hit the convoy of the governor in Al-Hille, killing 1 guard and wounding 12 others, while the governor escaped unharmed. In Diyala, 3 people were wounded, including a woman, in 2 explosions. In Al-Khalis, to the north of Baghdad, 9 people were wounded in a booby-trapped car attack, while the house of Khalid al-Luhaybi, the official responsible for national reconciliation, was attacked and 1 of its guards was killed. In Kirkuk, a policeman was killed in another terrorist explosion. In response to the intervention of Erdogan's government in Iraq's affairs, the Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki warned that the Turkish government was trying to fragment Iraq through its intervention and miserable agreements with the areas in the north, as he said. He also said this would open the way for the intervention in other countries. Al-Maliki said that it seemed that there was a miserable bargain, but the Iraqi government would never be silent over such suspicious policies. The Iranian armed forces continued their maritime exercises near the 91st, Al-Wilaya 91st, as they call it, in the Gulf area for the 4th day running. Admiral Amir al-Istakari, the military spokesperson, said that the maneuvers achieved many of their goals with accuracy, speed, and the use of new weapons. He said the exercise were aimed at raising the state of readiness in the Iranian maritime forces. The Minister of Health, Dr. Saad al-Naif, toured the Kidney Surgical Hospital to observe work and the treatment of patients there. New equipment were being used to wash kidneys in collaboration with the UN High Commission for Refugees. This contributed to the achievements of the hospital and enabled it to distribute such advanced equipment to other governorates. The Health Minister, Dr. Saad al-Naif, affirmed that the equipment would enhance the quality of the medical services and provide the citizens' needs, in addition to decreasing the pressure on kidneys washing services that freely provided in the public hospitals. On the other hand, the representative of the High Commissioner for Refugees Affairs in Damascus, Tariq Kurdi, affirmed that the Commissioner's care about providing all humanitarian aids in addition to its full collaboration with Syrian government, pointing out that Syria was always the first to provide aid and assistance for all. And with this we come to the end of our news for today. For more details you can visit our website www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us, the latest in economy after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Damages of the industrial sector estimated with over 17 billion Syrian pounds caused by the terrorist acts in most of the cities, directly or indirectly, since the beginning of the current circumstances until last September. The ministry said that the direct damages exceeded 7 billion and 200 million Syrian pounds distributed among the establishments of the public industrial sector and its affiliates, the industrial directorates in the governorates and the other administrative bodies. Regarding the indirect damages, they approached 10 billion Syrian pounds. The ministry also stressed that it will focus on providing the necessary protection for the headquarters of the companies that have been cleansed from terrorists. The Executive Bureau of Sueda Governorate affirmed on implementing a number of service projects with a cost of over 24 million Syrian pounds. The office, during a meeting today, confirmed on the book of the General Establishment for Portable Water and Sanitary Drainage in Sueda, including the acquisition of parts of some estates in order to implement Wakhzan well in Qusayma for the establishment, in addition to the confirmation on the book of the General Establishment for Geology and Mineral Resources, including a project for a license to invest a grinding basalt quarry in the western of Al-Hasha area. Oil fluctuated in New York, heading for its first annual loss since the year 2008 as the U.S. lawmakers tried to bridge disagreements to prevent what threatens the world's largest economy. The Brent crude for February's settlement on London-based ICE futures Europe exchange was at $110.40 per barrel, down 22 cents. The contract climbed 1.5% last week, and the European benchmark crude was $19.53, more expensive than the New York futures. Most European stocks fell amid concerns that the U.S. lawmakers may not reach a budget deal in time to prevent automatic tax increase and spending cuts from coming into effect tomorrow. The U.S. index futures signaled a lower opening for equities, and the Asian shares were little changed. Gold rose to $1,663.69 an ounce, registering a 12-year gains. The price of gold registered 6% high this year, as gold futures of February delivery rose 0.52% to become $1,664.50 an ounce. The US dollar rose for a second day against the euro as the deadline for the US lawmakers to reach a deal in order to avoid the tax increase for almost all workers approached, surprising demand for the relative safety of the greenback, whereas the yen weakened against 13 of its 16 major counterparts on speculations that the Bank of Japan may boost stimulus at its January meeting to spur the growth. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year.